Originally in English, 2018. They say they take people underground. What is that all about? I don't have enough data to say what this refers to conclusively, although with the limited data, it seems to me that it is clearly a reptilian strategy to make many people, I don't know how many but many, enter the dumps to be used as slaves and food. However, things are not black and white, and there are three main scenarios that go along these lines. 1. The Federation is indeed removing many people from Earth. These are people who for specific reasons should not remain on the surface. Mostly it is about starseeds and ET agents of various races working down on the surface, and they are constantly removed or extracted. 2. The intraterrestrial network of Agartha. The resistance of Agartha, because yes, there is resistance against the reptilian invasion that has taken place against the positive intraterrestrials, is accepting some surface inhabitants. Again, as in point number 1, it is up to the individual and it is unique to each case. 3. The reptilians have repeatedly been using strategies to capture humans because their food pantries are being depleted by the Federation's blockades. They have used all sorts of ruses, including passing off their ships as positive ships, or posing as someone from the genuine Agartha network. One detail you may find useful: a positive ship will never ever emit ionizing radiation residue. Our technology has long since outgrown that. Originally in Spanish, October 2022. You said that ETs were taking people off the Earth a lot, like with tractor beams. But you also said that now extractions are difficult because there are very strict rules about that. So who are they taking out and who is doing it? In spite of the Federation rules? Or are they taking out only their personnel and not their starseeds? It's not a contradiction. The races, whatever they are taking out their starseeds and their operatives and have accelerated whatever the step-downs do or engage in because of that directive. They are alarmed and proceed like rats abandoning a sinking ship. Everything is getting stricter and stricter about basically everything, both on Earth and off. Stricter in every way, rules and what you can do and what you can't do, rules of travel, of incarnations, of visiting, of contact, communication. Many times, by placing such a rule, everything speeds up, and that is what we are seeing. In spite of so much noise, we see nothing really bad about to happen. The wars turn out to be more manipulation. What they tell you in the media is far from what is actually happening. But if you don't see anything serious, why do other races do? And why do they take out their starseeds like rats? Because what is happening is serious enough depending on where their operatives and starseeds are. Or they already fell into the same media disinformation, because yes, they do fall into the same lie that they give to the people. Yazhi, a question from people in English. Some people are talking about mass evacuations, that they will be taken to a planet in Pleiades, etc. Is there any truth to that? What they say is related to the biblical Great Rapture and is mostly influenced by the Jesuits. Having said that, yes, there is a lot of truth to it. In a way, it is already happening. It can also be equated with a mass departure of souls by natural death, for whatever reason. But in what way will or does this evacuation happen? It will certainly not happen as explained in the New Age and Jesuit circles, as people dying and their souls going up to heaven. However, yes, they can be raptured. That is, one moment they are with their families or at work, and the next moment they are not, by tractor beam. However, I don't see it happening like that en masse. It could be, yes, but it's more like what is already happening, with a little more discretion, with people disappearing here and there, and the authorities attributing it to other mundane causes.
But Yazhi, are you talking about the planetary evacuation?
At least partially, yes. But I will repeat that I do not see it happening on a large scale. Because what really happens on Earth is more a set of strong experiences that such souls may or may not have wished to have. They take those who have already had their desired experience and leave the others. This is while keeping in mind that most people on Earth are part of the same matrix, and there is no one inside. They are programs, however strange that may be. You have known that for years. But they will do this without warning? They will not communicate before? And who will they take? Just their starseeds or other people too? Because I heard some say that they are preparing a specific planet in the Pleiades for those people. It depends on the overall planetary situation and the particular situation of each starseed group or each individual starseed. Who would they take? Those who no longer want the experience. Those who have already fulfilled their life experience, and the step-down operatives who have already fulfilled their mission. And when would all that happen? There is no when. That will be seen as we go along. And if you are not a direct starseed of any race, but a Lyrian, a good person of many incarnations here, you will no longer be taken? How does that work? Directly with prenatal or pre-insertion agreements, whatever way it is. Nobody gets left behind though. Nobody gets lost. What they say about this has been said for over a decade now in normal accepted ufological circles. It is not new, far from it. I, on the contrary, insist that no planet is necessary for humans. Everyone comes from one already has their family, and that is already covered. To think that another planet is necessary to accommodate humanity goes hand in hand perfectly with the same manipulation of spreading fears for mass control. It goes hand in hand with what comes out in the mass media about wars and famine. More fear. Besides, there is no point in giving humans another planet if they would take Earth and its problems with them, since they are their own problems. They are not victims that need to be taken off a polluted planet and placed in a new paradise designed for the innocent little humans. It doesn't work that way. Humans and their belief agreements and perceptions are what generate the matrix. If you take them away that way, they take the matrix with them. This idea of taking humanity to another planet is New Age Jesuit and is repeated by many, many people. But they only use what information they have and what they get from respected sites. But the more socially accepted a site is, like exopolitics, the more controlled it will be by interests and perception control agendas. No one is lost at death or upon being extracted. In the end, everything that happens to souls on Earth is controlled and calculated, and is only, for better or worse, from the point of view of each individual soul's perception. It is up to each one to create his or her personal world, be it hell or heaven. At the cosmic level, nothing is happening that affects the Earth. All that you see as danger is media for the control of humanity. I reiterate and insist that what you see there, the way everything works, society, the material world, biology, history, everything is false and is staged to provide a set of experiences. The reality is not what you are told. In a very direct way, the controllers, who are the Cabal plus the ETs of the Federation, fear to a certain extent the real awakening of a human mass. Not only because they would go after them, those of the human Cabal, I do not deny that too, but because it breaks their dynamic of the matrix, the set of concepts that form the experience of being incarnated there, by right and by the own decision of the souls. In other words, their theater is collapsing. And that is for many reasons, as, for example, the level of technology already given to the human mass allows them, on the one hand, to guide and control the perception of reality of the masses, with the internet and cell phones, for example. But on the other hand, they cause the more intelligent ones to connect the dots. They observe and come to conclusions that end up collapsing the fabric of the matrix. Remember that what sustains the matrix is nothing more than the set of ideas that people as a mass hold, with agreements of perception of what reality is and what its nature is. It is neither the lunar hologram nor is it its frequencies. It is the people themselves. You control their perception and thereby control and guide the matrix and its nature and attributes. That is why we have said before that the awakened starseeds, in a very real way, are accelerating the need for a planetary reset. All of this above brings me to the next connected point. I have already said it, but here it fits perfectly. What they tell you in the accepted media, ufology and spirituality channels is all calculated and controlled by the Cabal itself. Therefore, you cannot trust big information channels. The bigger they are and the more recognized they are, the more skeptical you should be, remembering that they tell half-truths or hide lies inside truths. There is no way that any one person or group of people would have the whole truth on the subject of Federation and UFOs and the spiritual, much less. So I insist that everything is contaminated by human perception-guided agendas. What the elites and the cabal and the Federation itself wants people to think. Nor can anyone on this side of the earth know the whole truth, not even within the Federation itself. Probably no one knows, since it is a process that is unfolding as it goes along. Yes, it is true that some people will know more than others, including non-humans. But what each one must accept as truth must come from their own mind, making their own decisions with full responsibility for themselves and for what they wish to believe. Keeping in mind that what they wish to believe will shape their world and their future, not only within their experience on Earth, but also afterwards, whether they are extracted or biologically die there. No one is lost. Everyone returns home. There are no devils with pitchforks or archons recycling souls. They recycle themselves by getting back on the roller coaster that is Earth, by choice. However, such decision can be influenced by their friends and their circle of influences. So each one must take the responsibility here on what to believe and what world or reality they are forming for themselves. From what I see, if it were not for the three of us and what we say, everyone would believe in the exopolitics and all those blindly, without anyone telling them to be careful with that information. I am not even telling you not to listen to them. I am just telling you to listen to everything and form your own opinion, keeping in mind that everything is controlled, just like everything else on Earth is. Their apparent going against the official media is only apparent. Or in some cases, they genuinely believe that they are going in the right direction, and they could be well-meaning. Just be careful what you believe when it comes from something widely accepted. I actually believe a solitary person with a small following who says logical things based on their own observation more than an accepted corporation like exopolitics or the like, or reputable people in the field. Because they are already controlled, contaminated, and have other interests there to reinforce each other. Not because many people believe in the same thing means that is the truth. They just have that agreement. It is not for some reason that they have it, that agreement. That, for some reason, may be some perception control agent, because that is how the matrix itself works. And what they want most is to control the spiritual and UFO and extraterrestrials and Federations part of it. Use your mind. That is all I ask of you all. Do not believe everything or what you want to hear, but only the evidence that you yourselves decide is relevant to your own personal criteria. Do not believe me. Believe the evidence that you yourselves can discern with patience and critical study of all.